If you're learning to play guitar, one of the most useful things you can learn is how to find the name of a note on the fingerboard. So how to find any note like a G or an A, for example, where they can be found on the neck. At the end of this video I'll explain why that's useful. So the order that the notes actually go in is the same on any instrument, so or on most instruments. So on a guitar or a piano or saxophone or whatever it is, the notes always go alphabetically. So if you start off with a low note that's an A, you go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and after G you then go to an A again, and it starts again A, B, C, D, F, G, and just keeps going higher and higher through the alphabet up to G each time. That can be a bit confusing because it means that there's more than one version of each note. So for example, if I play a few G notes on the guitar, you'll hear they sound different. So those were all G's, but they had a different sound to each other. They go well together. If I play a few together at the same time, they'll kind of ring well together. That's because they're all the same note, they're all G's, but they're what's called different octaves. So if I play this G and then go to this one, the distance in sound between the first one and the second one is called an octave. So the second note I played was an octave above the first note. And if you hear people talking about octaves, that's what it is. It's when you go up or down to the next note that's got the same name. So this is a G, go through all the other notes, and I get to another G. So that G is an octave above the first one. So if I play this note, this is an E, I go to that note, that's an E as well, but it's an octave lower than the first one. This one is an octave lower again. So that one is 2 octaves lower than the first one I played. Anyway, so the order is alphabetical. Now there's a bit of a catch to this. There are some other notes called sharps and flats, which you might have heard of. And if we just, for the moment, ignore the flats, we'll just call them sharps for now. So the sharps appear after the letter. So if you have a G note, and then you go up, before you get to the A, which is the next letter, you get a G sharp. So you get this extra note in the middle. On the piano, these are the black notes. So we go, if we start at A, at the beginning of the alphabet, we've got A, then A sharp, then B. So if I play an A on the guitar, that one's an A. That one is an A sharp. And then you get to B. And that's the same with most of the notes. So if I play another example, I'll do an F, that's an F. The next note is an F sharp, and then it's a G. So before you get to the next letter, you have the sharp. And there are 2 places in music where this doesn't happen. One is between E and F, so you don't get an E sharp, it just goes straight from E to F. And the other one is B to C, so there's no B sharp, it goes straight from B to C. So if I just list the notes in the order they come, starting at A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, and it starts again, just carries on. If that makes sense, great. If it doesn't make sense, have a think about it, rewind and watch what I just said again. It's essential that you understand that. And then on the guitar, as long as you know the name of, on a particular string, if you know the name of one note, it means you can work out all of the others. And most people, especially if they have guitar lessons, one of the first things they'll learn is what the strings are called. So it's E, A, D, G, B, E. Now that's what the string, when it's played open like this, is called. So that's an E. It means that as soon as I put my finger on, it's not an E anymore. It's only an E when it's there. So that's kind of essentially, it's the note that's on the end here. If you go to first fret, you're then going to the next note. So because E doesn't have a sharp, that one there is an F. But if I go to the A string, this one's A, so first fret will be A sharp, then B, and so on. Now I said at the beginning I'd tell you why this is useful. The most useful ones to learn really are these two. But if you're just going to start off just with one, this is the one to learn, the thickest one. Well, not necessarily memorise, but learn how to work it out. So we know it starts on E, so it's then going to be E, F, because there isn't an E sharp, F sharp, G, G sharp, then A, because we're back to the beginning of the alphabet, A sharp, B, straight to C, because there's no B sharp, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and now we're going to start again, so then it's F, because there isn't an E sharp, F sharp, G, and depending on your guitar you can go quite a long way further. E's got usually at the 12th fret, which is E on this string, that's where everything starts again, so it's this point starting again on each string. So that's a significant point on the neck, and that's why it's usually marked out as looking different by having 2 dots. You notice that's the only place on here where I've got 2 dots. Usually, most guitars, when you've got 2 dots, it's going to be 12th fret. Occasionally you get them at 7th as well, but usually it would just be at 12th. That's because everything starts again there. So that was the order. The reason it's useful is because most scales that you learn on a guitar, to begin with anyway, will start on this string. So if you learn a scale and it's a G scale, it will start there on that G note. So for example, that was a G blues scale, started on a G. If I wanted to make that an A blues scale, I can go G, G sharp, A, do the same thing. That's an A blues scale, and that's one of the good things about guitar, is that you can learn these patterns once and then you've got all 12 scales just by moving that pattern into a different place. But knowing which one's which is what we're talking about today with these notes. Okay, one other thing to quickly mention, these are also useful for bar chords, and if you're a beginner you might not have played bar chords yet, but bar chords are the ones that you see people playing where their fingers all the way over like that. And when you get onto playing bar chords, knowing the names of these notes or being able to find the names of these notes is really useful for the same reason as it was for the scales. So you learn the bar chord shape and then you put it into the particular place you need it to be for that note. So if you want a C chord, you have to find C along here and then do the bar chord shape. But that's another video, bar chords. Okay, one other quick thing, the sharps we've talked about. So the sharps come after the note, so a G then goes up one to a G sharp, an A goes up one to an A sharp, so like A sharp. And we're talking about, when I say up, I'm talking about sound. It doesn't matter that if I have the guitar like this, I'm still going up. It doesn't matter what it looks like, it's the sound. A goes up in sound to A sharp. So we'll do that, that's still up. So you go up onto the sharps. Now the sharps have got 2 names. They're also called flats. In between the 2 letters, like say for example A and B, there's A, there's B. One in the middle we know is A sharp. It's also called B flat. So it's got 2 names. There are reasons why it should be called one rather than the other, but that's a bit long-winded, and unless you get really into the theory, then you don't need to know it at the moment. So for now, just accept that that note in between A and B can be called A sharp. It can also be called B flat. And the main reason you need to know that is because you'll see it as being written down, or as part of the song you'll be told that that's the note that you need for the song. And it will be given one of those names, A sharp or B flat. So it doesn't really matter if you know which one it should be called. You just need to recognise both. So A sharp or B flat, B. And flat's the opposite of sharp really, so a B flat is lower than a B. it comes before the B. So if I take a quick example, that note's G. If I go there, it's G sharp. If I go there, it's G flat. But those two notes have both got other names. That one is A flat. This one's F sharp. I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, watch the video a couple more times. And if it still doesn't, let me know. Okay, thanks.